could be your Lestat, your Claudia, better. I mean, I got a little bit of both of them in me.
Boy.
I told him I was with you.
Was that a good idea?
Lestat.
No.
I'm here.
He picked up the phone. What's up, fam bam? I am ready. I just said fam bam. I am ready for another 2-hour long episode. Honestly, that's been the staple of season 2. Honestly, I'm ready. I've had lunch. I'm hydrated AF. I'm feeling good. Dopamine levels are high. I'm feeling great. All the positivity, trying to garner all the positivity before I start this episode. Recommendations. Unfortunately, I'm getting very close to the end of season 2, and you know your boy is locked in for season 3. Don't even doubt that for a second whenever it comes out. But in the meantime, while we wait for season 3, as a fan of Interview with the Vampire, as a fan who's knowledgeable about the fan base, the show, the kind of taste, leave at least one recommendation. Okay, let's not go too far. Leave one recommendation. If you're reading this right now, leave one recommendation and put a flower emoji next to that recommendation, just so I can easily filter through all the comments and find your recommendation. I've been getting a lot of good ones, actually. Some shows I've had my eyes on for a while, and some other shows. I got my little sketchbook over here. Some shows that were recommended and I've also kind of been wanting to watch. American Horror Story, The Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Mass, which one else? True Detective, Hannibal, Dark, and a couple of other shows. So like, if any of those shows sound great to you, let me know. And yeah, I mean, the show don't have to be this great, but I mean, are there a lot of shows greater than Interview with the Vampire, honestly? But you know, any show with the same vibe, that would be like a good replacement for this, so I can watch when this is over and we're waiting for season 3. Just leave one in the comments. A lot happened last episode. Some of y'all are so funny. I kind of rewatched some parts of last episode just right now before I hit record, and watching some of those scenes again, so much happened. No wonder the video is 2 hours long. One of y'all beautiful people said harped on that scene with Claudia being like, oh, I forgot, love makes you stupid. Loves make you freckle and weak and all that. One of y'all wrote in the comments that Louise dickmatized, and I lost my shit when I read. I lost my shit. Claudia's delivery during that, man, a lot happened in this episode. Obviously, Claudia's disdain for being represented or viewed as a child like came out in full force, and I love that outburst. I love when like people just like, I can only take so much for so long. Like, I don't know if any of y'all have seen the movie Hidden Figures, and if you haven't, you can just skip a few seconds. But you remember that scene with Taraji? I love Taraji. The scene of her just exploding in everyone's face like, yo, I have to walk miles to go pee every day. Like, y'all don't even want to touch the same goddamn cup that I touch. Like, I'm not even doing it justice, but just the way man, I love seeing black women. I mean, women in general, but like, since the example I'm talking about, black women who are like so much intersectionality there from society, just making them feel like they're nothing. I love when they get that outburst, like, get it out. It's like, I can only be humble for too long. Like, I can only be suppressed for so long. You know what I'm saying? And Claudia has been amazing in this throughout season 1 and season 2. Like, when she went up at Louis, or like Louis' actual motivations for saving her, season 2, when she went off about like why she want to find other vampires that she's only known for, and y'all have been the worst. And of course, last episode with her finally on stage, like just letting Armand know that, hey bruh, This ain't gonna cut it, man. Like, I'm reminded of this like every single day. That's amazing. That was amazing. Louis' reaction to that, he talked about it later, but like, I would have loved, I'm sure we all would have loved him standing for her, up for her in that moment in public, just like Santiago did. And talking about mother flipping Santiago, man, this man is plugged in. He's plugged in. And like, everybody in the theater now referring to him as Maitre, killer. It's like, that boy got plans. Louis seen on the bench with Dreamstat, as well as Armand. Man, great for so many reasons. Pretty emotional with Lestat's part, with Dreamstat's part, and coming to the realization that fragment over Louis' imaginations and whatnot, all that nice jazz. That was a good touch. But on a rewatch, man, like the different levels at which Louis sort of asserted his dominance, like just watching it right now, I was like, first thing he did was told Armand, I'm wet. Made Armand like put an umbrella over him, kind of like give him like an order, like I'm wet, put an umbrella after him. The second one was light his cigarette for him, and then called him by his, I don't know if we'll call it a dead name, but like a name he was referred to back when he was a slave, back when he didn't have any autonomy. Louis referred to him as that name, and Armand said Maitre. I was like, this flip just switched here, because like all those happened right after he said, I don't know anything about theater, but I used to really be good at like running things. So it was almost like the dominance kind of like just switched in that scene. I'm watching it again, I'm like, oh, like these 3 or 4 things that happened. And I think the final one excuse me, and I think the final one was like Louis lighting the cigarette, sorry, Armand lighting his cigarette, and Louis like just nodded at him and freaking throwing the lighter or something, I believe it was. Interesting scene. The scene with the dinner table with Santiago and Louis, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. One of you said a pimp named Louis stepped up right there. It's like that. That New Orleans eyes came out again. I've dabbled for a while. Armand putting his hand on Claudia. Y'all leave Claudia alone, man. Sometimes I wish Claudia was like significantly more powerful than some of these men, and like just let out her frustration and just whoop their ass. Like, I'll give her a pass for that, because like, damn, all y'all feel like you can just like freaking pick me up, like levitate me. Like, no, I wish she could just like, you know what I'm saying, like at least a black eye or something, like whoop them. It's like, get your flipping hands off me, you know what I'm saying? All 3 of them. What is Daniel Molloy gonna put his hands on Claudia in next episode? It's like, homegirl has had enough. Like I said, I just posted episode 6 on YouTube like maybe 3 hours ago or so, and I just rewatched it again, and I was like, God, like y'all leave Claudia alone, man. She didn't want none of this. But yeah, what else happened last episode? Yep, the fight at the end of the episode. Daniel Molloy, everything. I saw a picture preview of the next episode, and I saw young Molloy. Great casting choice, by the way. But yeah, let's see how active they get in this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hearing me yap. Thanks for being that friend that we can watch shit together and, you know, assess and listen to my voice just over and over and over again, which is so interesting because like I know you guys so well just by your comments and the way I can almost imagine you guys' voices, which is crazy, mostly on the Patreon side because Patreon is a smaller community and I see you guys over and over and over again. But on YouTube, I recognize some people and their profile pictures, but it's so many, much more people. But on Patreon, it's like you guys always hear my voice and I never hear your voice. But it's almost like I can even like predict some of y'all's like personalities through the way you talk, and like I love hearing from you guys. Let's get into it. Let us see what episode 5 is cooking. God damn, like this is only 7 episodes, no? Bruh. I need more, bruh. When is season 3 coming out? And I know there's a teaser, but I do not even want to see it. I mean, I kind of already saw just one frame of like Lestat being blonde as hell. I was like, what the? But that's all I know. Let me make sure subtitles don't kill me today. Oh my kidding. It's gonna freaking happen. Hey man, if you're watching this and you haven't checked out Fox Taco, I'm telling you, man, you don't even need to sign up to his Patreon first. I mean, you can if you want. His content is amazing. Go check out his YouTube reactions. It's free. He has like episode 1 to 5 out right now. That boy cool with it, man. I'm watching some of his reactions. I'm taking notes. I'm like, my boy is too nice with it. You know what I'm saying? So go show him some love, man. Go show all the small creators some love. We need it. we need it. Especially because I feel like we be really cooking, you know? All right, let's get this going.
Things got heated with the boy.
Oh yeah, that's how we ended last episode. Take me back, baby. I want to know.
We had it figured out, didn't we? What we needed from the other, our proper roles, a less dictatorial approach to the coven is embraced by my love. A dreamy kind of balance.
Pause, man. Y'all were freaking kicking and screaming at each other last night. I hear this man go. It goes back to what we said, I think a few episodes ago. How like that moment when Louis was describing how they met and they were completing each other's words. How like even though they are putting up an act, some of the genuine feelings are still coming out, you know? Because that's a lovely moment for them. So I'm also guessing maybe this might be some of the things happening here. But the whiplash is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because the last scene we saw of y'all were feistier than a moth. And now it's like, it's like, boy. And the goat, Molloy, his face is always like, I'm not buying none of this. You know what I'm saying? I'm more like vigilant of stuff like that now.
We had it figured out, didn't we?
He's so cute.
What we needed from the other, we broke into the same library every night that month. Hypnotized security.
A light trick that made the ceiling appear higher than it was.
And why not pass a month that way? An effortless, eternal life ahead, trying to remember what occupied one's time when one was ignorant of the plotting around him.
Grab that.
Santiago had broken into our apartment. Grab what?
Oh, it's just a note to my assistant. It's nothing.
What did you want to grab, Daniel?
Oh? The soundbite?
It's a thing with syntax. I see it a lot. The impersonal pronoun, one, one's time, one didn't. Person, him.
And that indicates what?
Tell him.
You're circling something. You're getting close to something you want distance from.
Tell him.
There's a chicken exit on a roller coaster.
Is this Malik?
Who's this?
Shall we take our business to the living room?
Who are they?
They are not your concern.
Hey, who are you?
What's going on?
If you'll excuse us.
Armand rarely eats, so when he does, He prefers to hunt for it.
Does Malik know he's lunch?
Are you recording?
No.
Malik knows if he makes it on foot, he'll be paid enough crypto to most anything he wants.
Wow. So he...
Often it's someone carefully chosen for the harm he does the world with his chosen profession.
And when he can't find an arms dealer dumb enough to answer his ad?
Good question.
He'll have Malik begging for it in an hour. Methodology, it's never violent, I assure you.
Hey, man. So much. Interesting. So, God, it's like since season 1, we've seen different ways different vampires hunt. And this just adds to that like world building part of how Armand loves to hunt. Like he loves to hunt. He loves to chase them. But it's like morality comes into it where he's hunting someone who is, for lack of better terms, a nuisance to society, but also aware that if they can make it, it's kind of like playing catch. Well, probably the wrong game, but you catch my drift. Interesting. It's so messed up. It sounds like one of them Mr. Beast video. And if you're asking, did I just compare an immortal vampire to Mr. Beast for reasons? So it's interesting to see how Armand like goes about his snack.
And when he can't find an arms dealer dumb enough to answer his ad?
Someone half in love with an easeful death.
Right, or someone that wants to...
He's ditching us.
I don't know, man.
Dirty, a little deceitful, but it's enterprising. Is that what makes you fascinating?
The coffin!
It's in his head.
Do her rest. If she had a paper bag
Daniel.
over her head, she agreed and you did it even.
Daniel.
Is Armand doing that? Well, obviously, right?
Let's change it up. I was going over my notes last night. Something said in his... This time I won't save your life.
Talk about it.
Saved you from me in 1973.
Yeah, you bit me, I blacked out. He ripped you off me, dumped me in a drug den. How often has Armand spared a life?
Good question.
Armand could see I was partial to you.
Oh.
Armand preserves my happiness, even when I don't or can't.
Okay, sure. Let's go with that. Our first interview, it's the 70s, all a blur.
I bet.
Did we...
Smash? They're playing jazz. Hell yeah, they did, boy. Look at both of them when they were younger. Of course y'all got it in.
I like what you've done with the place.
And yes, if you are thinking that, oh, Franklin just want to see another hot gay sex scene, yes, judge me. I told y'all I'm in a good mood today. Let's get it. The episode, not the hot gay sex scene. Just making sure.
Bail bondsman, post-divorce vibes. How many?
Our boy Rich.
Are you a real estate mogul?
Oh, I'm a lot of things.
They definitely smashed. What the hell? Or straight to the room. No drinks, no nothing. Shit.
So you climb in it, close the lid, and bang?
Molloy, I love this man.
I'm in countercultures. So am I the first guy that you brought back here? Well, that's wholesome.
Old time.
What does that mean? Booger sugar, baby.
All of your slickness at the bar, all that's gone.
What do I seem like now, boy?
The veteran of many wars.
Why he keep calling him boy? Well, he's like a baby to him, because Louise is old, but I don't like it.
Cocaine's a fun boy's drug. I'm not fun.
All right, suit yourself. I prefer you like this.
What are you doing?
Trying to get active.
Social contract.
Do you normally interview your subjects with your shirt off?
I really thought we did.
Do you want to now? He sometimes lingers when boats come into harbor.
Oh.
San Francisco, you offered something off the menu.
Does yo, does Daniel face in that last scene, does he seem a little bit hurt? Does he seem a little bit like a little hurt? Like, oh, I thought you wanted some. Guys, I can be very immature sometimes. Forgive me. It's okay. It's okay. You get all of Frankie. But yeah, like, look at his face. He look a little bit sad. He's like, oh, I thought we did. It's like, nah, bruh. But then compliments him like you were offering something different than all the other boys. All 3,012 of them.
Louis de Pointe de Lac from
Bars.
You specialize in low-end real estate.
Worth is often miscalculated. Minor factors. You can squeeze profit out of that margin. Paris, in the 1940s, permissive, laissez-aller sexual atmosphere was the more formative. I am.
It wasn't recording.
I forgot to put a tape in.
That's annoying AF.
Are those fangs? Are you the Zodiac Killer?
That's heavy intimidation, low key, no? Or am I reading into it too much? I mean, it was a cool scene. It's like, how's the best way to show this dude that I'm a vampire? Let me just charge at him and like make him shit himself. Cause I was wondering from the last time they met, like he did tell him he was a vampire, no? But like, I'm sure he thought it was just some like maybe sex thing. I was like, nah, bruh, I rip people's heads off. Yeah, you need all of that and a drink after what you just saw. You gonna apologize for scaring the shit out of him?
Don't be afraid. Just start the tape.
What are your motives, man?
You shook more then than you do now.
What I remember most, other than that you were an alien 5 feet from me, you were lonely, Louis.
It was gratifying to tell you what I was after mingling with humans for so long.
You weren't thrill-seeking. Tape after tape of emotional upchuck.
Where's this leading, Daniel?
I have some outstanding questions about 1973. I want 20 minutes. For me. I want to know, for me, what happened between us.
Oh, wow. I love this.
Okay.
You owe me. You owe him that.
Okay. You eviscerating Lestat.
He had a dark pull, a numbing affect on the senses. He was a handsome Satan.
Yeah, I mean, I know the
And you
type.
stripped away his superficial charms. Vulgar. Maniacal. Blind and sterile and contemptible.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because Daniel has been calling out Louis since season 1, right? About how in one breath you sound like this is the worst man you ever met. But in the second version, like you're sounding as if like y'all were like the creme de la creme of like relationships and seduction and all this thing. It's like the, what do they call it? The something of recollection. I can't remember. So it's so interesting like getting this here because he called Louis out on it. Which got me thinking, it's like obviously we all like know this. I shouldn't say, like, I've heard the sentiments for y'all a lot in the comments, and I agree with that too. But like over time, you want to make yourself look less as a victim just because it's humiliating, it's embarrassing, it's taking away agency from you. It's a reminder of a dark place you were and maybe a lower state of mind and decision making and all that good jazz. Cause like I definitely have moments where in my life in the past, like going through some hard stuff that like right when it happened, the way I was like furious towards the person is significantly different from like years later when maybe some of those wounds have healed, or like I said earlier, I don't just, it's embarrassing to think of yourself sometimes as such a helpless like victim that maybe in your mind, just for your brain to protect your sanity, you kind of like adjust it. So like hearing Louis just go off at all the things Molloy was, say Molloy, Lestat was, is wild. I mean, we've already heard a little bit of it, but just, and Daniel like agreeing as well. It's so fun to see baby Daniel. I don't know if I've already said this. It's so fun to see baby Daniel. And I love that request he made. He's like, give me 20 minutes for me, please. Because like, I bet for Daniel, this is the closest he'll ever get to like reliving a part of his memory that like he can't get again. You know, just because how memory works, like it vanishes with time. If you don't have any like video or picture or stuff like that. So like I could feel him like begging, like, give me this 20 minutes for me. Like maybe you don't remember everything, but I know your memory might be like better than mine because I was drugged up, I was high, I was not in my right faculty. My dad passed away when I was pretty young, and I was telling my wife the other day that I don't remember his voice anymore. I was telling her I don't remember his voice anymore, but I remember his laugh. I remember his laugh, and I remember a sentence of him saying something in another language, in a Nigerian language. And I can remember that clear as day, like how his voice sounds when he says that sentence. But his regular voice in English, like his regular voice, the tone, like I don't remember it anymore. And the shit hurts because like I don't have any video of him to hear his voice. I have pictures, but I don't have any video. So like if there was someone who could like magically show me how my dad's voice sounds, of course I'll be on my knees begging them like, do this for me, please. So I don't know if there's another reason why Daniel Molloy wants him to tell him that. I almost said David Molloy. Y'all ain't gonna get me today. But I don't know if there's another reason, but that's just what comes to mind, that like I felt so like deeply when he said, please do this for me, this 20 minutes. Anywho, let's get back to this boy roasting Lestat.
With a thin, carping voice.
Oh, you're lying now.
With all the emotional acuity of a monster.
Yeah, but you were suggestible. I mean, he lured you in. Just by then, you paid a biblical price for your first love.
He been spitting bars from day one.
I'm sorry. That was astute, boy.
He's been spitting bars.
I was a moron.
Will you, do the Frank thing again?
This boy. He's having fun.
Just for reference, that was...
Watch Claudia disappear into the night.
I'm kind of with her.
Because I'm thinking, like, because obviously some things Louis is saying is kind of false from our, I should stop saying our. That's something Fox Taco kind of like critiqued my reaction of. He said I say our a lot, and I should remember that not everybody share my thoughts or point of view. So he said to start using like, to start being personal. So from my view of season 1, we have kind of like seen what Lestat is. We've also seen what he is from Claudia's point of view. So these are two stories that are kind of like aligned with how Lestat behaves and how he walks and his aura, if you will. So hearing Louis like butcher him and say all those things about how there was no soul when he was into the music and all that, it's like, so it's kind of giving me the energy that like this is a much like yes, immature, but also bitter Louis. Because the Louis in the present kind of like talks about Lestat with like reverence, you know? I mean, it's up and down. It's more nuanced than that. But this is, so it's kind of giving me the vibe that he started this whole interview process just to someone to trauma dump on, someone to, you know, just let that, feel that ecstasy of just like letting another person know, man. That's how I be in these reactions, man. You guys are the scapegoat. I just want to let y'all know what I'm thinking. That's why I talk for minutes and minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, not really, but you get what I'm saying. So I kind of have a feeling that that's what like Louis is going for here. And I'm sure Daniel Molloy have said that earlier, either in this season or season 1. Hey. Guess who's back? Look at him. There he goes. You know, something I noticed very recently is Gus has the craziest resting face ever. Like, he can be freaking purring in excitement and happiness, but his face is always like, you want butt taps? Say hello to everyone. This is, you see that resting face? Like he's purring heavy, but he looks like I'm the most irritating person in the world. Look how this man licks, bruh. Okay. You want more? Sorry, the video is already 15 minutes. Gus. Alright, let's get into it, man. I can't help it with this show.
Boarding the train, carrying her off into her future, stay behind with Lestat. Then what? Nothing but the bench I was sitting on, so I stayed on it. Was watch the sun come up.
Uh-oh.
Bleach my bones, the putrid soul.
Are you kidding me? What, you were just gonna end it? I mean, what about life? Like joyrides and night swimming?
You've overstepped now, boy.
Listen, no, obviously you didn't do it, but you were given the gift, and I've been hearing you the night away about it, and I won't waste it. I think you could use me. I think we have an energy, you and me. I could be your Lestat, your Claudia, but better. I mean, I got a little bit of both of them in me. Plus a few
Boy.
After all I've told you!
That's fair.
Yeah, well, you don't know what human life is like. I mean, you don't understand the meaning of your own story. Hey, stop!
Wow.
I overreacted.
Not sure that killing me was a totally warranted response to my...
True.
Body your throat.
I deserve to have my ass kicked.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel?
Hesitation.
Surprise and more like, ambush.
Oh?
Is that our original interview?
Turns out I had a copy saved in the cloud.
You're a liar, Dan.
So are you, Louis, whether you know it or not.
Yes.
Well, my researcher, assistant.
That's the info he got.
It's a bit of an audio file. Well, she cleaned it up a bit. Press pause on the betrayal of it all and listen.
Uh-huh. Jesus.
That wet thud, that's Armand saving me.
Mm-hmm. Louis, that was wild.
What?
What you mean, what?
What? Morning!
Things got a little heated.
With a boy. Things got heated with a boy.
Tell him.
You make the mess and I clean it up.
Tell him.
Calendar, align it with Ursa Major, Louise triannual. Find me with apologies to follow.
You're boring!
Really?
So boring!
Here come the drums.
Okay, so this is showing me that Louis didn't mature or get his shit together up until very recently. Cause what? This was 50 years ago, right? This man. Gus has been licking my elbow trying to get up here. Cause everything Armand is saying, him having to clean up after him having to like essentially be the one with a brain in their relationship. Interesting. yeah, this is really giving me the vibe that like Louis didn't like mature up. It had to happen somewhere between here and the present, because this was just 50 years ago, dog. And what happened to Louis that brought him to this point? Because even the Louis we're seeing from season 1 and beginning of season 2 and from Claudia's writing, he didn't seem this, what's the word? He didn't seem this adolescent. I don't know if that's the right word I'm trying to use, but this like immature or like this let me let them cook. Let me let them cook.
By the world's softest, beigest pillow. The 10 hours I spent with that boy were more exciting, more fascinating.
Louis.
Decades with you.
That is so hurtful to say.
But am I as boring as the blather committed onto the ferric tapes of your fascinating boy? Oh, it's so hard to be me.
Picking lint
It's so
off
hard
the
to
sofa.
kill humans.
I'm the vampire Armand, and my daddy vampire grew me into a little.
Louis is going off at this man. Again, this show makes me feel like I'm listening into my neighbors having a horrendous, toxic conversation. And I even feel like guilty or like complicit for it, if that makes sense. Because Louis wants to start talking dirty, and obviously Armand is going to give him that same energy too. Like he was withholding it earlier, but now he really going off. Excuse me. And they're really like pointing out some things about each other that are like, again, is that whole thing of like calling out your insecurities, calling out some of your flaws and like putting it in your face without it being like in the midst of a like healthy, safe conversation. Like in a fight, it's like, I'm gonna throw your dirty laundry at your face type energy it's giving me. Damn.
Lestat.
I talked shit about him the whole time. The name!
Until it was pounding in my brain like a hammer.
Our problems aren't about him.
And you threw her name around just for cover, but it always circled back to him. She didn't love you. Like I have.
He knows.
Yes, I know.
We're getting hot tea.
Can you hear her? She's calling me.
I think that's you running out of the room. Hear that? Second door slams, metal door. Armand calls your name. He runs after you. Metal door opens to screams. Where does Armand follow you, Louis?
What is going on? Did he try to get into the sun? Oh God. Jesus.
You remember that?
I'm remembering it now.
Let me ask you a really loaded question, Louis.
Go ahead.
And then what?
My skin burnt to the color of pitch. I walked out into the sun. I knew who I was without those pieces.
Wait, get the story straight first.
Too much. It's too much. And that's the point where like I just can't suspend that disbelief to a point where like I'm not thinking about like real life elements with these stories. Cause bro, this man just tried to unalive himself. That is real. That is real. Like getting in the dirt with it, surfacing all the nasty stuff, not just that have happened to you, but like you bringing up other people's nasty traumas and everything like that. It's like, bro, this man tried to unalive himself, bro. Obviously, this took me back to episode 4, season 1 with Claudia and her like arm in the sun. And I felt the same thing. Like, yes, a lot of teenagers go through that, where they feel like they've had such a traumatic experience. They feel like there's no coming back from it. Like they want to hurt themselves. You know, they want to feel something other than what they're feeling in the moment. Oof. And I mean, with all the BS and the confusion and everything that all these characters should be held accountable for, something I've been loving this season, because we know Louis' recollection, it kind of sways from like accurate to padded to softer, but like I never represented it as him lying or trying to be malicious or cunning. I never represented it as that. So something this season that has been like really heartbreaking and painful for me was like watching Louis, how he reacts in moments when he's learning some dark stuff, things just being put together for him in his mind. For example, the scene with Claudia, like his memory finally coming back about how Claudia actually dreamt, and even though she wrote that she didn't dream, like she actually dreamt, and how that made him feel like, one, happy for her that she could actually dream, but two, the fact that like she wrote some heinous stuff about him in the book, in her diaries, and the fact that she dreams but she wrote she didn't dream kind of like make him feel probably some of those heinous things she wrote about him wasn't true. As a man who has done some wild stuff in his life and hurt a lot of people that used to think the world of me, and some of them don't even want to see my face anymore, just getting some kind of inkling or knowing that like someone you hurt has forgiven you, or someone you hurt that said some hateful things, you guys connect again and they have a different perspective. That feeling is like crazy. So like that scene of Louis crying when he got that revelation, like that hit me in my heart, and him realizing that he walked into the sun, like the emotions that is bringing to his face, like it just reinforces this whole idea for me in my head that golly, like Louis does want to remember all these things. Like it reinforces it for me that like he might be inaccurate with a lot of the details, but it shows that he's not like lying. Also him like asking Armand for the pages from Claudia that were turned off or ripped off, like that shows that he's like very eager. I'm just looking at myself. I remember when you guys were telling me, Frank, your season 2 videos finna be long. Like this scene is so like, I need to feel all this again, man. I'm glad this show has like trigger warnings and stuff like this, because that even make me don't even want to focus on like this like super dark things that both of them like threw at each other's faces. Well, Louis instigated it a lot, but it's like, because I mean last episode we saw Armand's like backstory and stuff like that, and like for Louis to throw it at his face like that, and vice versa, it's like Armand called him out too on Lestat and the name, and you know, like, so he just ran out and straight into the sun.
Must be exquisite.
What happened?
You said the worst things you've ever said to me.
Mm.
And now you're a convalescent.
Okay, that's a part that I don't think I fully grasped throughout that scene. He was high. Gus, I know you're trying to give me some love. I'm having a hard time. Thank you. So he drained Daniel. Because Daniel was coked up, he essentially was coked up too from draining him. So is this one of those situations where it's like, you know how people say when you're drunk and tipsy, like you kind of let everything out? It's kind of like people who go get their tits pulled out and they're just saying everything just because they're drugged up. Because everything he said, I'm sure it was like, let me not say I'm sure, I'm guessing it's like suppressed things that you don't want to say to your partner because they might be offensive or like too direct or need to be handled very delicately. But since he was drugged, he just poured everything out there. And the running into the sun part.
Fix that before we sell.
He's alive?
He's fine.
Armand, what you doing?
Fine, we're all fine.
You two kept me in that apartment for how long?
Another body. That's the visions.
Cellophane corpse on the floor.
A neighbor saw you while he was taking out the trash. I had to chase him down.
Surely I'm next.
Give me a second. I'm just clearing out Gus's cushion because he wants to sit there. Damn, son, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. You guys can hear him meowing because he has my mic has a filter for background noise. Okay, your couch is free, my boy. Y'all be patient with me, man. This episode is gonna need a full like rewatch. So if there are things I'm not catching, yeah. Okay, go sit on. You happy? You want to sit on my lap? You're gonna mess up the mic though, and the video is gonna be corrupted, and these folks are not gonna get a reaction. Gus, I'm sorry, we can't do this. Not now, okay? Hey man, y'all might need a part 2, man, because this boy is not. This episode finna be longer than 2 hours, bruh. So I'm glad we're finally getting explanations to here. I'm glad we're finally getting explanations to the vision Molloy has been seeing of the man in the bag and him hearing Armand's voice in his head. That's the part I want to get to, like Armand questioning him about like the girl he slept with in high school and the conditions he gave her and his dad's magazine. Like, I want to get to that part.
The door frame is blocking it.
Okay, yeah. Armand puts the table back and finds the recorder under the TV.
I guess this also explains why Louis can't recollect everything, right? Because one, he was high on drugged blood, and two, he's half dead with his face burnt off. So there's just, God, there's so much. I don't understand how people can do reaction to this show and not talk through it. My brain is like marshmallows right now, bruh.
He ejects the tape. Yeah. Flips it over. And
He kept it.
presses play.
A young man like yourself would have appealed to them in particular. You see, they represented the greatest loss to Lestat because they stood on the threshold of maximum possibility of
Rest.
life.
Armand stands over you. He's commandeered your body.
Right.
I just got. I'm not sorry. Y'all can skip if you don't want to hear. But it's like another dynamic here is this idea of like some of these things are things Louis haven't heard. Sorry, Armand haven't heard from Louis. At least his full POV of some of these things. So I'm guessing that's why he was like curious. And another added dynamic to it is like he used to date that man. Like he used to date that man. So like there's still probably that funding for him, but there's also like a bitterness and a heartbreak because like Lestat like left him with not as much as even a goodbye. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, it's who wrote this, man? Like today I heard someone say that and Rice did a lot of interviews. Best believe, like when I finish season 2, I'm gonna watch those because like I want to know where her mind like went to. And I'm sure she's a pleasant young lady, like the way people speak about her. And I just recently posted on my Patreon a conversation me and one of my homegirls had about Anne Frank and her reading Anne Frank's erotica and stuff like that. So it's like you can tell she was like a, you know, well-rounded, like dope human being. But it's like, bro, where did your mind go to like write this? I'm so mad that this show is not like the most popular show out there. Is it because the show has a lot of queerness? Is that why like it's not that popular just because of how our society views that? Let me know your thoughts. That gotta be the reason, right? Because like, why else would this show not be on like the best platform out there, like freaking HBO or something, or like everybody and their mama should watch this, man. It's so like, and these actors are cooking, man. Like they're acting. Yeah, in this moment, I feel Armand is like hearing some things he's never heard before, or some things he's thought about but never heard Louise say in Louise's voice. So him playing this back is like, I suspected, or stuff like that.
Armand. From Polynesian Mary's, I was with Louis.
I can't
Move your body. I'm told you've lived a fascinating life.
I never said that.
No, Louis did.
Leave him alone, Armand.
We didn't even have sex.
128 boys he's brought here.
He's at 5.
And you're the first he didn't consummate and drain.
So that just confirmed that like Louis kills for food now, or still in this time, right? Because if I remember correctly, the last time Louis, Lestat, and Claudia were on the bench after they took him back and they made rules, Louis started hunting humans again, right? Or, okay, I guess I just answered my own question. Because they had that conversation of like, Louis has this sense of superiority whenever he go hunts his animals, because he's not as savage as them and stuff like that. So I think that was the rule they made, right? Because like right after they had that conversation on the bench, a man walked by and Louis stood up and followed. So I guess I just answered myself that question. Because Armand says 100 and something men brought here and you're the only one he didn't drain. So kind of took me for a spin, like, wait, Louis kills now? But I kind of answered that for myself. Bruh, y'all finna get a 3-hour video today. Don't blame me. It's your fault.
I can't feel my body. It's freaking me out.
God.
No.
I hate when these vampires do shit to humans, man. The power dynamic is crazy. Like, I understand there's a reason why he's doing this, because, like, I've been watching. I shouldn't say we. Like, I understand it, but it's like, I hate when they do this to humans or people weaker than them. You know, the same way Armand, like, what's his name? Lestat's boyfriend. The same way he like overpowered him, and like you could see like Lestat crying, like, you know, in agony when he took him away. Like when they do stuff to like Claudia, even though she's a vampire, but it's like the power dynamic is crazy. Same thing when they ganged up on Molloy in a few episodes back and basically shut him up. It's like, yeah, look, he was irritating in that episode. He pries too deep. Like he just said, he knows how to get angles, right? But it's like anytime they're doing this to a human, it's like, yeah, it's a wake-up call that, hey, man, I'm essentially a god and you're a puny human. But like being a human myself, and just for the like crazy power imbalance, it always does something to my brain, man. Like see how terrified he is. Even when Louis like dashed at him earlier and showed him the fangs and how terrified he was, like he was shaking. I wonder if any of the things happening here is what gave Molloy his illness. And how did Molloy forget all this? It must be some like vampire magic shenanigans shit like Armand did to him. We haven't lost our subtitles today, so we're doing great.
You're going to teach me how to be fascinating.
Leave him be, Armand!
Playboy magazine sold them at recess. A little dirty, a little deceitful, but it's enterprising. Is that what makes you fascinating?
Okay, it's you who's fascinating. You could read minds, right?
Louis thinks I'm boring.
I've tried to push my flag.
Do you find me boring?
What do you expect him to say at this point, Armand? I hate watching this. I don't know what to feel about these characters anymore, because like there's the jealousy part, like there's the parts where you feel sorry for them and like what is happening. There's like, I reserve the right to change my opinions whenever I fully understand the whole context of what's going on. I reserve that right. Where it's like, not to sound like a dick or anything, but like there's no way anyone got all this at first watch. Cause like my brain feels like mush right now, for real. This story's so like, how do they keep getting away with this? It's so intoxicating. It's like I'm horrified, but like I can't stop watching.
Not hopeful there's much more to you, Daniel, other than a hoe.
Other than boyfriend.
Rage is an imprecise emotion.
Boy.
But I was fragile, an invalid.
It was Saturday, but we met on Tuesday. So I was the house pet for, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 days.
I wanted to say something earlier that I didn't get a chance to because this show was freaking frying my brain in real time as you guys watch. But what I wanted to say is like, I love how there are scenes where Daniel turned from his low-key annoying, poking, intruding self into a more like a vulnerable, kinder self that is actually here to help, not just get a story. And a few examples was one that comes to mind immediately is like the ending of episode 2 season 1 when Louis brought the dessert that him and his wife or ex-wife used to share, and he got very vulnerable and explained how like she used to dye her eyebrows, but like he loved when she left it blonde. And he closed the interview and they both shared that dessert. I love that moment. I love the moment of him asking Louis if he needed a break after Louis broke down crying when he found out like Claudia had been lying about like her diaries. And earlier during this interview where two of them were like helping each other piece the story together, and when he told Louis like don't focus on the big moments, like let's try to get the story right. I love when those moments like seep out of Molloy, because it's just the walls and landmines he has around him just kind of disappears and we just see his like beautiful side. I mean, like all the characters in this show, they all have that beautiful side that contrasts their like vicious human nature side of them. So I just wanted to mention how I love that they're like both like helping each other piece the story, especially after they heard the unaltered like recording. And just this scene of them that I just saw of them just sitting in the little garden or pasture Louis has in there, which is a place we know Louis goes to like center himself when he's feeling overstimulated or not feeling the greatest. So seeing both of them, they're just sitting like boys. I just love that. I thought I should mention that. Something else I want to add. This show vampires so human, but when these dudes want to go off, boy, I love Armand. But watching what just happened with Daniel Molloy here, watching Louis grab Santiago's tongue, watching Claudia collect bodies and do some wild stuff, Watching Lestat do Lestat things, I'm like, this show knows how to go off, like show you that vampires. I remember episode 1 when the priest was running in slow-mo and Lestat was just casually walking behind him. Ooh.
Was in a trance of some sort.
I won't tell you why.
I don't know, I can't.
Lunch is almost over. Try. You're in the chair. The TV is on.
Some service stations may be charging less for gas than the phase 4 directive.
Coffin.
You're still caring for him.
I listened to the tapes, all of them twice. The start.
That must not feel great.
But why?
Why the focus on him?
It's not exactly how you've talked about him to me. Well, Lestat strolls past a bookstore where he buys himself a copy.
That's a bar, cause like I do know how Lestat feels when Louis is just thinking about him. You don't even have to be thinking about him in a good way or a bad way. So Armand is freaking barred up right now. That's a bar. He's like, yes, you were saying you hate him, but it's like you were still talking about him. You were still thinking about him. It's like, what would Lestat do when he passed by and see your book with his name front and center? Of course he's going to feel love. He's going to feel loved. Because we know Lestat has like I know, because I've seen in my interpretation that Lestat has like this twisted sense of love. I mean, this is the same man that like we feel and we know, like, I can't stop saying we, but anytime I say we, you know I'm talking about me and my representation, but it's like, you know, Lestat has a twisted sense of love, low-key. Is like the fact that when this man was apologizing to you and you've been ignoring him for 6 years, this man came out of retirement for 100 years and wrote a song for you, which is an amazing gesture. But this man also put Antoinette in that song because he knows it was going to get a reaction out of you, and you're going to swim through the goddamn Mississippi to meet him. And the way he bust a nut emotionally and physically when he saw you, they're vicious and jealous for him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Lestat loves when you think about him. It don't even matter if you think about him in a good or bad way. So, like, Armand is spitting bars here, man. And I love you guys on YouTube, but it's like, I can't post a 3-hour-long video on YouTube. So, like, a lot of my thoughts and everything is gonna have to be trimmed down, because that's just how that platform works. So, like, y'all on Patreon, like, y'all are getting, like Armand is, like, freaking spitting bars right now. It's like, yeah, you mentioned you hate him, but it's like, he was all in your mind. Lestat, Claudia, Lestat. And I just want to throw some, like, sympathy his way. It's like, bro, like, it's real that, like, unfortunately, people who have been in abusive relationships, unfortunately, like, tend to go towards those kind of relationships and dynamics again, especially if they have not healed properly and grown properly and stuff like that. So, like, it's the same reason people date other people sometimes who are very similar to their own abusive parents, either their dad or their mom. It's like, because that's what they know, like, that's what they're comfortable with. Like, if someone have shown you a very skewed or a very altered version of love, we don't know any better. Like, we assume that that is how love is, you know? That's why when someone dates someone who is shitty times 10 and break up and start dating someone who is shitty times 5, shitty times 5 feels amazing because at least they don't hit you, you know, at least they don't drop you from the sky. I feel like I just came at Lestat. Lestat just caught a stray. I'm sorry, y'all.
Prison of empathy. I've locked you away in. All you had to do was ask, Louis. I leave you to yourself. I know where he is. I found his voice among the many.
Wow.
I told him I was with you.
Was that a good idea?
Lestat.
No.
Was that a good idea?
I'm here.
He picked up the phone.
For you. I'm with him now. He cannot hear you. He has injured himself.
No.
This is your chance, Louis. I am your maker's voice. Louis.
Mon cher.
Mon cher.
That must not feel great for Armand. But I'm guessing Armand feels like if you go this length to get Lestat's attention, then I've already lost. Like, there's no point in fighting for you. Could that be what Armand is feeling? Look at me with crazy eyes on. Yep, we're almost 2 hours. Lestat picked up the phone.
You wanted to say something to me.
So this is not dream stats. This is...
What's happened to you?
Why are you ill? What's happened to you?
Wow.
I
Such...
love Louis. Tell him I love him.
This gotta be hard for Armand.
Tell him.
This is heartbreaking, bro. And the fact that that is what Lestat said to him. Not, I'm coming for your ass, or I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm being real. It's like the fact that he told him, why are you ill? Like, are you okay type shit. After you slit his throat, dog, either Lestat is still madly in love and digmatized, or this dude up and grew a conscience and is actually a kind person now. Because I know Lestat has always had that soft, beautiful, emotional, like romantic side for, like I've said over and over and over and over again. If this show was like a Hallmark freaking romance drama and Lestat came not a lot of the crazy toxic things, it would be the most beautiful Hallmark Christmas movie ever. Cause like he's so romantic, like he's so like all the things that Louis loves about him. So I know he's always had that. So like I'm not too surprised that like the first thing he said is like, why are you ill? Like, are you okay? And I love you. And even harping on like Armand to tell him, what does Louis even feel hearing this right now? Armand is darn near hard. Bro, this is kind of like telling your girl or your boy that, hey man, your ex just hit me up and just told me they love you. So I'm telling you I love you for them. Come on. Whiplash of emotions, bro, for all these characters. Like I feel their pain, their trauma, like what they're going through, but I'm also seeing some of the heinous shit they're doing at the same time. So who's narrating this right now? Is it Louis or Daniel? Or they're co-narrating this? Because they're helping each other build the story slowly. This is good.
You was my make. There's nothing more.
Have I crawled an inch forward? Or am I a reminder of the worst of it?
I still need to know what happened in Paris with the fire.
Shh. Rest now.
A bunch of words.
I've been calling to you for some time.
I like my life.
The dull thrum of desperation in you. Will I get the fixes I need? Will I be somebody?
Wow.
Will I get the fixes I need? You already know who you'll be. A job in an office with drab carpets and flickering lights. A woman in the mold of your mother. Your children shying away from you. And I feel like a boss. Rest. Like honey on your tongue.
So he's doing what Santiago explained to Claudia. Because I was thinking about that earlier when Santiago told Claudia, when Claudia asked him, how do you make your participant want it to die? And he said he digs into their brains and find like their shames and some dirty laundry and some trauma. Which I guess that's what he was doing with the magazine and the girl in the beginning, I'm guessing. But now it's almost like a very peaceful, soothing thing he's doing to him now. which kind of seems like what Santiago does to his victims on stage, like almost make them so soft and like ready. I mean, I've said it a couple of times, like some people did tell me like Frank episode 5 will like knock your socks off, which I mean, if you've never heard me say it before, like I prefer not to know what's gonna happen or what episode something happens, just so like I don't get super hyped for it. Like it can always go both ways. I might be worth the hype or might be disappointed, or like I might feel anxious about the reaction because like I know everybody's expecting me to go off in episode 5 or stuff like that. So I'm just voicing it out because like not everybody's like that, but I mean communication is how we coexist better. So like but yeah, some people, they told me, man, YouTube, Patreon, that episode 5, dog, episode 5, yo. To be honest, both seasons, episode 5 of both seasons, because episode 5 last season is when Claudia came back. And, you know, that man Louis was dropped from the sky, which was crazy, which is wild because both seasons, episode 5, some massively like life-changing things happened to Louis. That one he got dropped, this one he got burned. Ended up in the same scenario, like bruised and battered, and crispy in this case.
You rest now.
Wow. Oh, he was gonna end him. Well, yes, kind of like Santiago.
It's a testament to our companionship. Over
Oh?
St. George.
You're not going for Lestat? Which is crazy, because... Is he remembering as well?
Daniel?
It's too much.
484. Telling you this room doesn't matter, or a junkie. You're a bright young reporter with a point of view. Stories that need to be told. These are the words you'll hear in your mind like a tape playing over and over. They are your lifeline.
So he remembered some of it.
You know, he said those words to me. Figured I'd conflated the two events. But I didn't. I destroyed 2 marriages. I 2 daughters. But I stayed a journalist.
You woke up in a drug den.
I woke up in a drug den.
They planted those memories.
You blacked out.
These are the pictures they took.
What accounts for why you didn't? But you remember right up until when you bit me.
Did Armand do that to you too?
He's cut out. Same precise edit on 2 brains.
Armand. Of course, speak of the devil.
How was your lunch?
He made it all the way to Burj Khalifa. How's Paris?
Oh, we paused Paris. He asked why you saved him in 1973.
The way he's looking at him is different.
I could see you were partial to him. I preserve your happiness even when you don't or can't.
That stare, man. That dead stare is crazy. He is pissed at him, dog. What have you guys done to me, man? What was Anne Rice on, man? I mean, I'm sure it's one thing to read these stories, but to hear their voices, to hear the score, to see the god tier performances, dog, I bet this show is like a dream come true for like book readers. What did I witness, yo? Thank God I have a break tomorrow. Like, I have a break on my schedule. Like, I'm not posting anything on YouTube or Patreon tomorrow. No, I don't have a break. I'm watching The Wire, episode 12. Will you guys be mad if I just shut the camera off right now? Because, like, my brain legitimately feels like mush. And I know we're having some conversations in the comments about some people bringing up like the idea of me like watching a couple of episodes of this, maybe in a weekend or for a couple of days, just so I can dodge like spoiler talk and stuff like that. And I mean, I appreciate the suggestion. It's a very good suggestion. So I can just skip other like spoiler stuff. Thank God I'm this far in it on Patreon, because YouTube, I still see some spoilers on YouTube, and I'm like, thank God I'm in season 2 and I've passed all this. So someone brought up that idea, and you know, I try to let them know that like it's kind of impossible for me, because like every time I'm done, like right now my wife just went to work like at 5 p.m. like I would have just gone and just like laid with her and just like chat and just like decompress or like hop on the game or something. But like right now I'm just about to like drive to this dope ass Jamaican restaurant, get some oxtail, you know what I'm saying, some rice and beans, you know, some plantains, to get my mind right. Because like after watching every episode of this, it's so much, like emotionally, like physically, my brain, it's so much. Because like the way I talk about, because like it would be different if I was just like watching it, right? But having to pause and talk about all these things, because I don't know how to not do that. Might as well just watch it on my couch, you know. Yeah, this deserves a rewatch. Either tomorrow, like I'll sit back, like rewatch this whole joint, because no words, guys, like no words. I'm glad I say a lot of things during it, so I don't need to like make a long-winded like outro sometimes. But I love all the focus on the past. Like I said it at the end of the last episode, where they showed the throwback of like Molloy and Louis at the bar, that I love that all this didn't come first. I love that after we've grown to love the characters through season 1, now we're seeing the past that they've always referred to, that we've always heard in the tapes. But bro, I didn't know they were gonna give this much. This is like a full backstory arc. That's what we weebs call it when we're watching anime. Like, this is a full backstory arc. The entire episode was focused on them in the past. But dog, write all your comments. I'm gonna read through all of them. I'm gonna read through them. No spoilers, obviously, or hinting on anything. But if there's anything here that I didn't catch and it's not a spoiler, like, you can let me know. Kind of like I said earlier, I posted episode 6 of season 1 on Patreon today. And someone pointed out to me that, hey Frank, that finger that Louis took to Claudia, that was Antoinette's finger. And my mind broke, because I'm like, that's why Antoinette was missing a finger. The reason why I didn't put 2 and 2 together was that was after they made their agreement to become a family again. So when Lestat brought the finger to Claudia, I just assumed that Claudia is into trophies. So like he just brought that as a peace offering. But nah, he brought Antoinette's finger to show them that, okay, I have killed Antoinette, right? Because that's what Claudia requested of him. So on the other side, when Antoinette showed him her finger on the bed, like, who's gonna hire a crippled singer? I was confused. If you guys remember my reaction, I was confused. I thought that was on some like abusive shit, that maybe like Lestat harmed her or something like that. So someone just told me that in the comments today as my reaction dropped, and it blew my freaking mind. I'm like, oh, I can't believe I missed that so blatantly. But it is what it is, man. We can't all catch stuff first time. So if there's anything I missed in this episode that doesn't get revealed later, or like, just use your best judgment. I mean, or you can just not answer in general if you guys love seeing me confused as hell, which I mean, I believe that makes for a better reaction anyways. I don't want to ever sit here and feel like a Mr. Know-It-All. This episode, man. God, I love Daniel Molloy so much. What's up, Gus? Can y'all see Gus? I love Daniel Molloy so much. It's like the suffering he went through in this episode. But not just that, him opening himself up at the end. Like what Louis told him, and bro, the stare down both of them gave Louis. Sorry, the stare down both of them gave Armand when he came back. Ooh. Because yeah, he asked a good question. It's like, bro, both our minds got wiped at the same moment, like the same space, the same area of our recollection. What did your boyfriend do to your own brain too, Louis? Because he got to be hiding something the same way he was hiding Claudia's. That is why he didn't want them to do the interview again. Maybe he was worried that what happened, that they both remember. Maybe that's why he was always perched around in season 1. Cause he wanted, what's up guys? Cause like he wanted to make sure that they don't remember this. Dog, I'm about to pass out, y'all. Let me go get this oxtail, bro. Thank you all for watching. If you've watched to this far, just put a flower in the comments, man. I love you guys, man. I love you guys for giving me space to explore this. I hope it's enjoyable for you. My confusion, my immaturity sipping out a little bit, my hype, my everything. Thank you. And you guys in the comment, you guys give me so much life, man. You guys can be very validating. You guys can be very like educational, but most importantly, just a space to help me share. So thank you, truly. This shit mean a lot to me, man. Like this reaction channel. Obviously, I want to do this full time for a living. I want to make a bag off these. I want to make money off this and like live comfortably. But dog, trust me, I view YouTube and all my moves as a business and everything, but this shit is healing, man. Like, and yeah, if it sounds cheesy, you can click off. It's okay, but like this shit is healing, bro. Like the amount of things like I learn from these shows, the introspection I have to do, like the thought process, like how I need to get my mind right to be able to say what I say confidently is like, it's so healing for me, man. Like it's so good. Two things can be right at once. I am trying to make a bag off this. There's people making YouTube videos and they're making thousands of dollars, like taking care of their family, like living their lives like carefree. I want that to be me. And obviously, if you're watching this Patreon and YouTube, you're helping make that goal a reality. So thank you. But aside the money part, it's like this is so healing for me. Because I was talking to my homie Fox Taco the other day, and I was asking him, hey man, like as a man, as you grow up, like how do you improve yourself? Like, do you have OGs that you talk to? Do you have mentors that you speak to? Do you read books? Like, do you consume stuff like that? And we're just having a conversation about that because, like, I'm 29, right? Like I have a lot of growing to do, a lot of healing to do, a lot of like improvement to like work on. And, you know, that's where conversations like that come from. And it's like, I have a lot of people that I look up to, that I have conversation with about life, about having children, about being a good partner, a husband, like a better man, how to be an ally, how to do all this, down the third, how to fix or work on my flaws and my insecurities and all these things like that. Like, I have OGs that, like, you know, either online or in person, that we chat, but it's like I can't overstate how much consuming these videos and talking through it and processing it with you guys, I can't overstate how impactful that has been in my growth as a human being. And that's typically why most things I watch are things that like have to like get my brain moving, have to get my heart feeling, you know. If you look through my channel, all the TV shows and all they're usually like hard things, or like things that have a lot of heart, or things that make me feel something, or make me want to learn something, or make me want to address something in my life. So it's like, you guys being a part of that is so like healing. And I feel like it's important to let you guys know this, because like, yeah, on the surface we're just watching TV shows we love and movies we love, but god damn it, if this thing is not contributing to my life, thank you. Drop a flower emoji if you watched to this far. I love you guys. Take care of yourself, man, because watching this shit is fun, but it is also dark and hard, and it mirrors our own real lives too. So I'm sure some of this is triggering for some people. I know some moments of it were triggering for me. But just make sure you're taking care of yourself, man. Feel free to write in the comments. Feel free to direct message me. If you need a shoulder to lean on, someone to talk to, feel free to message me, man. Like, we're all here for each other, man. Love you guys. Take care.